I was laying in bed and I know a lot of people wake up in the middle of the night with anxiety. Like that's a pretty common thing. And I did that and I started feeling like I was gonna have a panic attack. And I was like, okay, like I haven't had this in a really long time. Like this is interesting. So I was like, okay, bring it on. Like I'm gonna continue to show my brain that we are not scared about this. And I just laid there and I was like, okay, bring it on. Let's go through the 5 steps. We do it all the time anyways for other things. So went through the 5 steps and I fell asleep and I don't even remember falling asleep. So I mean, like
That is
obviously
awesome.
I was fine. Yeah. So
Wow.
my name is Jessica and I had a lot of anxiety after I had my daughter.
Who is just coming in?
Baby. Yeah, she's very, very upset.
Is she?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. But anyways, okay. I had a panic attack one day and I wasn't really familiar with that. So it kind of made me like go into a spiral, the cycle that you call it. So I was having them like every single day, multiple times a day. And it scared me because I didn't know what that was. And I came across an ad on Facebook for Anxiety Wave. And I liked the fact that it gave me confidence. And I think even now I have more confidence in myself than I even did before I even discovered anxiety, like had to deal with anxiety.
Yeah.
I've tried 2 programs before this, and this is the only one that has stuck with me and has actually had promising outcomes.
That's awesome. And in terms of where you were back then, was it just panic attacks or did anxiety show up for you in different ways?
Panic attacks, intrusive thoughts, yeah, like obsessive compulsive things. I didn't want to drive, and that was not like me at all. Like I was gone from the house all the time. And then then I was afraid to leave the house. I was like, and I wasn't familiar with that feeling. And so yeah, I stopped driving. I stopped leaving the house by myself. I didn't even want to like walk the neighborhood. And the intrusive thoughts, they scared me, even though they weren't thoughts that, were anything of my nature. Like,
Do you remember any of those thoughts you used to have?
honestly, like I'd really have to think about it.
Good. That's great.
Yeah, I haven't even really thought about that. I would really have to think about it.
That's awesome. And how did that make you feel because you're a mom. We just saw your kid at the door coming. So you're a mom. How did that make you feel not being able to drive or to leave the house at certain times?
Oh yeah, I was so upset in myself. I thought I was cutting my kid's life short. Like, we couldn't go to the park. We couldn't go, play with friends because I was nervous, and that's not something that I want for myself or my children. But now we go everywhere. Like we are never home, and I love it that way.
Was there anything specific that you were unable to do that you felt like that you really wanted to do again that made you perhaps, look for answers online, or in this case, taking action by signing up for something?
For sure driving, but I think just the main thing was just how I felt. I was so scared all the time, and I had no reason to be scared. And like just going to the grocery store and going shopping, or taking my kids somewhere by myself, or just being a mom again and being happy. I mean, makes a big difference. The confidence that you gain, I don't know. It's unreal how big of a difference it has made, and I'm so extremely happy.
Do you remember, because you mentioned you came across one of my ads and potentially you probably watched like one of the free videos I have. Was there anything specific potentially for the viewer, the listener, that you remember at the start of your journey that really made an impact or made sense, that kind of led you to deciding, wait, this might be different. This might be something I want to try, because you've tried 2 other programs before. I think many people have tried certain things, whether it's supplements, whether it's a full-on online course from someone else or whatever. Was there anything specific you remember?
Yeah, I think the main thing that sticks out to me is to be okay with anxiety. Like,
yes,
all the other programs, it was kind of like, we're gonna take the symptoms and we're gonna suppress them.
yes,
And with anxiety wave, it was, we're gonna be okay with it, and we're not gonna fight it. We're not gonna resist it. We're gonna embrace it. And that was a big difference to me, because I was like, I've never heard that before. And I was like, you know what, there might be something to that. And like the anxiety loop, and I still use the 5 steps to this day too.
awesome.
Like, well all the time. Yeah, and it's just kind of like just a natural thing that I do.
Yes. Well, exactly, because that's sorry to interrupt. That's exactly how it's how I view it. It's not a technique, not a tool per se to use to try and suppress or try and get rid or try. It's basically, I always say it's a skill. Obviously, it's something we got to do and repeat, and we build these levels of proof of successes that we stack until we get this confidence, and we're like, well, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want, whether anxiety, whether symptoms are there or not, whether it's, by the way, the emotion of anxiety, or whether it's the emotion perhaps of sadness or anger or whatever. The same 5 steps apply to those. If you don't know, it's interesting, because it potentially could help with, I don't know, I like to think of it in a way where with my kids, I would, teach them a little bit of those acceptance in other elements as well, whether it's fear or something else. But to, keep doing that where the need is, or where you feel something, you can just keep on using the 5 steps, which is exactly how it's meant, as a default response versus the old response. The old response is resisting it, and the new response is those 5 steps, is in essence
allowing it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Allow whatever emotion we need our body needs. Yeah, for sure.
I like that you said, for anyone listening or watching who may now think, what are they talking about? Being okay with anxiety? That's like like you wouldn't want to be okay with anxiety, but it's obviously there's a distinction to be sure. You don't have to be okay with, this is going to be the rest of my life. I can never drive again. I can never go out again. I'll always have this level or this intensity of anxiety. No, that's not what we can work on that, obviously. But being okay with the emotion, as you said, the emotion of anxiety can be present. It's literally allowing that, which resets your nervous system in a way, as it's learning, watching you, seeing that you're okay. So that's incredible. And did it affect others in your anxiety in ways that you remember?
Oh yeah, I couldn't go anywhere by myself. So I mean, that obviously affected my children. That affected my husband, and with people that have never had anxiety before, they don't really know what you're feeling or what you're going through either. So it's like, I was very dependent on people, and that's not who I am. I'm an independent person, so that threw me through a loop too. And
as a parent, did you put a lot of pressure on yourself? I see that a lot, that people, especially as parents, they say, I cannot be like this. I need to be there for my kids. I need to be able to drive them.
Yes, I could see how that could be more stress inducing, but it was a motivator to me. I want to give my kids the best childhood that they can have, and you can't do that when you're just in constant fear. And I don't want them to be afraid of anxiety or like whatever.
I love that so much, where some things can be things we blame ourselves for, or can add stress, even extra stress in our systems, where we're we're beating ourselves up. But those same things can actually be reasons that motivate you, as you say, because people tend to do more for others than they do for themselves. So I remember in my journey, until I started actually visualizing other people I could help potentially in the future. I never thought to have this skill. But just some people around me, or potentially my future kids or whatever, then I started really putting in the time. Whereas before, for myself, I found these excuses to be like, maybe I can manage it, or maybe I don't need to go to restaurants all the time. I can be at home. I'll
What a
dine
life
in
that is, though. That's not a fulfilling life.
Exactly. And I like to talk, we'll get there in a minute, but I really like to kind of mention that in terms of what I think recovery is. And I'll see if you agree, Jessica. What I think recovery isn't to do certain things, having to do certain things to be anxiety free. Whereas, and I'll say this, quote unquote, normal people, we're all normal obviously, but people without anxiety, that didn't have anxiety, they don't do those things. And what I think is what recovery is being able to do everything other people can if you want to do these things, and not have any limits or any kind of like, how do you call them, like rituals in your life to avoid anxiety or to control anxiety. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, to have the choice to do what you want to do.
Yes.
Not to, to have the avoidance behaviors that you talk about, and restrictions.
Exactly, because lots of people will talk about, if you don't have any coffee, take these supplements every day. If you do this, that, ice baths and everything, you'll be okay. But that's for what I see as management.
I struggled with that too. It's funny that you mentioned that. I started drinking caffeine again, and that I stopped drinking caffeine. I stopped. Oh man, I think I even like stopped eating sugar. Like just because you're trying to make excuses as to why you're having this, but sometimes it can just happen for no reason. So, I drink caffeine now. I love it. I love my coffee.
Me too. I'm having one right now.
Yeah. And when I started doing that, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, oh man, what if I start getting anxiety again? But then I was like, well, if I get it, then like I can handle it. I'm not scared about it. So even though this coffee is not going to give me anxiety, if I get anxiety and panic, it's going to be my own choice. But like I could handle it. It wasn't a big deal. And sometimes I still get anxiety, which I think is obviously it's okay because it's a natural, human emotion. And but I just go through the 5 steps, and it doesn't scare me, and I don't get stuck in the anxiety loop over and over and over again. And
if you know what anxiety is, if you truly know what anxiety is, as you do, you'll never get trapped in it again. Because in order to get trapped, you have to not realize you're in the cycle, or in the pattern. You're not realizing you're trapped. So if you know the cycles, you recognize them, and you're like, oh, wait, I'm actually going in a cycle. The goal is obviously being okay with anxiety. It means that the stress bucket can still overflow sometimes, especially taking on. And that's okay. You just got to repeat the steps, but the steps become just a response to go to. Like, I don't sometimes even, because I teach this, that's why I know, but I would just forget the steps or put them in the wrong order, because you have like your own kind of way to it. It's just like, oh, I know, I know what this is. And exactly as you say, that's how you recover. It's saying, I might get anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, if you don't want to drink coffee, if anyone's listening and who knows how to deal with anxiety, doesn't want to drink coffee, you don't obviously have to drink coffee. But if that's something you want to do,
to have the choice.
Yes, but you don't do it because it triggers anxiety potentially. That keeps you stuck. That makes anxiety, that makes your nervous system be on high alert, always watching, like your survival brain, reptile brain, right? Always watching you and keeping you safe. Whereas in this mindset, you'll do what you want, knowing full well, especially in the recovery journey now, maybe not so much, knowing full well it might trigger some anxiety, but you're okay. You know how to deal with it, so it's less scary, and that way you heal as well. So I like to think that you have a coffee which you can enjoy. You're also healing, so it's win-win. You're recovering while you have a nice coffee, and it might not be as pleasant as you drink a coffee now, but it is like how you heal. Can you tell a little bit about that, about my program actually, because you obviously went through it, the answer to anxiety. What were your initial thoughts of it? If we go to the beginning part, if you remember, what was your initial thoughts when you were going through that? Do you remember any of those?
I just think that it was powerful. Like, it made me feel powerful because I you, even if you go, which in my experience, even if you go to therapy, because I was going to a psychiatrist, um, ironically, they did not ever tell me to be okay with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
It's which like amazes me. Like, why would you not want to teach your client that? Maybe some do, I don't know, but mine in particular did not.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a new it was a new way of thinking about it, and it made me feel powerful. Like, who the hell cares if I have anxiety? Like,
Yeah.
cool, whatever. I am powerful and I can handle this, and um, I'm not going to be scared.
Exactly. Yeah, it's back
Yeah.
in your control, isn't it?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
lots of
yeah.
things are external. So we need supplements,
Hmm.
we need medication, whatever it is. This is actually, you don't need anything else. You just need to
Hmm.
learn how to respond correctly and then
Yeah,
practice. Right? It's not
yeah.
an overnight thing. You know that.
It took
How,
a while.
it
Yeah.
took a while. Yeah. Can you explain a little bit about the journey or any breakthroughs that you have or anything you remember? Did you have setbacks? Did you have some tough times where you were like, oh, this is not working for me? Do you remember any of that of the length of your recovery journey?
I stuck with it because I did not like, I'm a very obsessive person, which obviously I think a lot of people with anxiety are. So I did not skip a day. But yeah, I did have a setback, and that scared me at first because I've had a couple actually. I've had two. I was driving to work one day. I work an hour away, and I had started feeling like a panic attack coming on, and mine came in um, like derealization type feelings, and so and like I would start sweating, and everything just looked and felt like you're in a tunnel. You're not real. And I started feeling that, and I recognized it and was like, oh, hey, like, I know what to do now. And went through the 5 steps, and then it went away like immediately after I did that. And I was like, okay, awesome. Like, I don't have to be afraid of this anymore. I have control over this. And actually, like a few days ago, I did that. I was laying in bed, and I know a lot of people wake up in the middle of the night with anxiety. Like, that's a pretty common thing. And I did that, and I started feeling like I was gonna have a panic attack. And I was like, okay, like I haven't had this in a really long time. Like, this is interesting. So I was like, okay, bring it on. Like, I'm gonna continue to show my brain that we are not scared about this. And I just laid there and I was like, okay, bring it on. Let's go through the 5 steps. We do it all the time anyways for other things. So went through the 5 steps, and I fell asleep, and I don't even remember falling asleep. So I mean, like,
That is
obviously
awesome.
I was fine. Yeah. So
Wow. That's awesome. That's actually very interesting to learn from as well, because it shows that this mindset shift is so powerful, at least in my opinion, because you'll have that forever. You just you keep going. This is also how you, because yes, it can happen where you're doing great, where for you now you hadn't had a panic attack in a long time, and then it starts to come up, and some naturally could go into like, oh, none of this worked. It was only like a temporary thing. It was like a placebo or whatever. That adds more stress into it in your body, and then and that tends to then trigger the response, the resistance response, I should say. But in your case, you remembered and you just went back to the same old thing, and you actually said, we've had this so many times, bring it on, paradoxical intention, like, come on. Because for facts, and it isn't a fact because I told you that you can handle it. I mean, I did, but you showed yourself that you could handle it. You've had many panic attacks. We all have, even the people watching this have, but you've had panic attacks and derealization and intrusive thoughts with the right response so many times, even in high stake places, events, scenarios, and you were okay. So the proof is your own. So you could say with full belief, bring it on, I can handle this.
And you can like feel it. I feel like you can feel it, like whenever you accept it. It's like, oh, okay. well,
Yes.
now that you accept it, instead of resisting it and just building and building and building, and whenever I'm like, hey, I allow this to be here, what for whatever reason, like you can feel leave. And I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's crazy.
It's quite freeing, I think. I've never felt
Oh
so
yeah,
something so freeing than acceptance. Uh,
yeah.
in your, because you mentioned some interesting things. Obviously, you mentioned derealization, very scary one, very strange one. You also mentioned
That
like
was the
a,
hardest one for me.
yeah. How did you? Were there any specific things, tools, techniques that you remember that really worked for you, specifically for derealization? Was there any breakthroughs that you had?
The main thing was acceptance. Like, that's when I really started to feel like I wasn't afraid of it anymore. And ironically, whenever I accepted it, it went away so much quicker. Like, it's like showing my brain, hey, we don't actually have to be in this fight or flight mode. So yeah, the paradox, like you said, like it made it because that's a scary thing. Derealization. That like when I first had that, I was like, oh no, I'm going crazy. Like there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. So many people have it, and whenever I started accepting it, it went away. So I was like, wow, this is amazing.
That's all.
Yeah.
Anyone listening, watching who has derealization or any other form of anxiety for that matter, listen to what she says as well, because this is this shows the power of responding correctly with knowledge. Because you just said, "Oh, it's just fight or flight," but if you didn't know that, you would think going crazy. If I
Yeah.
think back of, I had some derealization, I had no idea what was going on. And it's easy to spiral because you're like, whoa, I need to go to the hospital. I might be going crazy. I need to lie down. I need to do this. Why am I seeing
Yeah.
double? What did someone drug me? Any of these thoughts spiral, spiral. But you're like, oh, wait. Oh, this is fight or flight. And that
Yeah.
is because, I don't know, maybe you had that pre knowledge, but obviously in the program, we spent like 4 weeks on it. And it's not like 4 weeks, it's only 1 or 2 hours a week, obviously. But we spent lots of videos on really digging into what are the side effects of adrenaline, of cortisol, of basically fight or flight. So you know during a moment of panic, intrusive thought, derealization in this case, you know, oh wait, this is
This is just
anxiety.
adrenaline. Yeah.
Yes.
Let it be. Yep. And I like how you explained that the rest and digest because I've never heard about that. So whenever we like accept it, instead of releasing those fight or flight hormones, we'll just release the rest and digest hormones, and then it's just yeah, it's very awesome
Exactly. It's basically
what
we
our mind can do.
yes, it's basically what I wouldn't say we're tricking our nervous system, but you know we need to speak the language of the nervous system, and it only looks at
Yeah.
behavior. So if you act as if you're in danger, it's going to help you. Obviously, if someone
Yeah.
attacks you with a knife and you run away, you want to have that adrenaline, right? To
Yeah.
fight or flee, fight, whatever. But if you're actually safe and you respond as if you're in danger, you'll have
Yeah.
all those symptoms. So it's like doing the opposite of what you'd naturally do with anxiety. So you know, if you were eating a steak back in the old days in like prehistoric, and you see a tiger, you wouldn't finish the steak and then run. You would run or
Yeah.
devour it like a piece of meat. So what I see with people with anxiety, they like eat quickly or don't eat at all because there's no like the rest and digest takes care of like have hunger and everything. So what you
Yes.
do is obviously you want to learn what it is, learn how to respond, and then doing things ideally you want to do with anxiety present. So even like eating your meal slowly, or dancing, or going on a drive, even though all your body and mind says you don't want to go on that drive because
Yeah.
this or that and that happened. You know, the doomsday scenarios. You do it anyways, armed
Yep.
with the right response and the knowledge. And you've been doing so good, obviously. And I'm so happy to see you where you are now.
Oh yeah. I drive everywhere. I have no limitations to that. I go everywhere. I take my kids everywhere. I have no limits. There's nothing that I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do that because I might be anxious. Like,
how did being free of anxiety affect the people around you, like your kids or your husband?
Well, my kids are obviously very excited to go wherever they want to go. I mean, go to the park, go to the zoo, go to the aquarium, go shopping, go to the mall, like whatever. We go everywhere, go to the pool. My husband, it's helped our marriage, I feel like a lot because um like I would have to wait for him to get off work so that we can go somewhere. Nobody wants that. Like that's yeah, it's we go on dates now and I'm not too scared to do that and um it's very freeing. It's helped everybody in my life. My mom, because I would need her help all the time.
Yeah.
And uh you're you're taking away out of other people's lives, not just your own. And it's very fulfilling whenever you can now I can give back. Hey, what do you need? Do you need me to come help you?
Yes.
I don't care if you live 2 hours away. Like, I'm on my way. And
That's awesome. And that's also like, it kind of reminds me of how it's so lovely to have a support group that help you and everything. But as you know now, going through the program, the loving support isn't always what you really need to recover. But if obviously
mhm,
like our partners, our mothers and everything, the parent, they don't know. So they're just trying to help you. But unfortunately, sometimes that just makes it worse because you unfortunately, well, not
it's
necessarily,
enabling it.
yeah, you got to
Yeah.
do this yourself. You obviously have the support, which is lovely, and I'm really glad now that you feel like you can give back and you can do everything you want again,
hmm
because that is obviously the goal behind this program. And yeah, what would you say to someone who's watching this right now, who may be unsure about the next step, whether that's joining this program or whether that's practicing some of these steps in terms of acceptance or reading more into it?
I would say invest in yourself, invest in your life, and go for it. I mean, who cares if you have anxiety or whatever? Then I think investing in yourself and getting that power back is so it's freeing. And if anybody's questioning the program, I mean, it's amazing. I would 100% do it again and again. And I could get emotional about it. I mean, I've shared it with other people. It's amazing. And no doubt it's going to help you.
What do you think is the biggest difference between this program and other programs?
Welcoming it, accepting it. It's it's our friend. It's not our enemy. And the knowledge that I've gained of I honestly didn't expect to gain as much knowledge as I did. And about what anxiety is, why we have it, what to do, how we respond, and like everything like that. It's a lot of programs just say, hey, you have anxiety, let's breathe and meditate and all that stuff. But with Anxiety Wave, you actually learn what it is and what's going on, and you accept it, and you're not fighting it. And um I don't know, it's way different in my opinion. And I loved it.
What excites you most now? You've been anxiety free for a while, I guess, but what excites
hmm
you most now, knowing that you can basically know that anxiety isn't holding you back any longer?
I've been promoted at work. I don't know if that's anybody's goal, but just to
That's
be
awesome.
able to give all that I can and to have goals and not be restricted. That was a big deal to me. Um, Going on vacations again, that was one of my main goals because I want my children to experience that and I want to experience life. There's so much out there that you restrict yourself from experiencing when you have anxiety, and we go everywhere. So I love it.
That's awesome. Do you have any tips for any parents or moms specifically in terms of this, just out of curiosity?
I think if you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your children. I mean, I teach my daughter, she goes through chemotherapy for leukemia, and she's only 4 years old, and we were going to an appointment one day, and she could tell that I was nervous. She's like, "Hey mom, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh, mommy's just a little anxious."
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Hey, but remember, that's okay. George said so." And because
I remember that you said that actually.
Yeah, she would listen. I will play it over the speaker or whatever. And yeah, and like some of the recordings that you have in the program, she's like, "It's okay." And she told her nurse that one time when she was getting her report done, like, that is a traumatic experience for anybody, but especially a child. And she's so brave. She'll be like, "Well, it's okay that I'm scared. We allow that." And so it's a big difference. I mean,
that's awesome.
Even she's 4 years old and she already knows that.
Awesome.
Why would you not want your child to have that knowledge as young as that? I mean, that's going to help them so much.
Wow, I just got the chills. Like, I love that phrase. Well, we allow that as like a family.
That.
We allow that.
Yeah.
Because also, I obviously know about a little bit. You mentioned that before. About your daughter, and I mean, who wouldn't be anxious?
Yeah.
A mom, a dad, if any, like, it's so normal if your kid's going through that, and you'd be anxious, wouldn't you? Like, and this is also why some people, when they get into the anxiety recovery, they still want to get rid of any anticipatory anxiety, any feelings of, because if I have anxiety, something is wrong. I'm doing it wrong. No, it's normal. Like, in certain life events, it's normal to have that emotion. So I'm so glad that you and your daughter, realize that and actually apply that, especially in those moments. Because did you feel like, and if you don't want to talk about it, obviously say it, but those experiences, those appointments, those doctor meetings, and everything, was it more manageable for you in terms of with this response? Because you have more room to feel it. Was that more manageable for you, or was it? What would you say about that?
Well, yeah, definitely. Because I feel like before, I didn't want my daughter to see me scared, and or anxious, or I didn't want to feel that way, because you don't want to feel that way, and
you don't want them to be scared either.
You don't want them to be, yeah, exactly. But now, obviously I still get nervous every time we go to an appointment or, get labs or something like that. But I'm not scared to go. I take her by myself now, and I used to have people go with me. And now it's just, I don't know, it makes me feel brave, and I know that makes her feel brave. And just to allow her to see mom go through all the emotions, it's okay for her to go through all the emotions. And it makes
she's brave.
Makes a huge difference.
You're brave, she's brave. You both are obviously very strong, and I think you've done an incredible job in reframing this, also for your daughter, because now it becomes for you both like a story of courage and strength, where you allow natural anxiety to be there, because it is scary. Everyone would be, but instead of fighting that and not allowing that, and actually becoming numb or even feel less strong, you feel weak because of that. No, you become stronger. So anytime you have that, you become stronger, and
it's an opportunity. Yes.
And I love that. Say hi to your daughter for me, and I love that she said we allow that. I need to be using that more for, like, if others around me, like, we accept that, we allow that.
Yes. Hey, we allow that.
That's awesome. Well, I think we should wrap up there. Jessica, I know you're working, so I want to really thank you so much for taking your time today and sharing this with myself, but obviously with anyone watching, because there are people now where you were before, whether it's a mom, dad, or not a parent, that doesn't matter obviously, but people with derealization, intrusive thoughts, panic attacks, who may not feel much hope. So I'm so glad you were able to give them some insights, hopefully some lessons, some new things, and give them some hope, because that is sometimes just what we need to get started. Hope and motivation a little bit just gets you there on the path. The rest will be taken care of, and you get the ball running. You don't need to have the full motivation just now, just enough trust and belief that it's possible, and that you can do it. And you're another very brave, courageous, and incredible example of that. So thank you so much, Jessica. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Happy to help in any way that I can. And I thank you for the program too.
Appreciate it. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.